today we're doing something a little bit different because today it's Caribbean Goat Curry Day. Now, many years ago I went to this great little Jamaican restaurant and they served me up a goat curry that was so good that I've never ever forgotten it. Now, it's something that I've always wanted to try and replicate in my own kitchen, so today that's what we're going to do. So I think the first thing that you need to do is to prepare your curry powder. You're going to need about 5 teaspoons of turmeric, 3 teaspoons of cayenne pepper, 3 teaspoons of fenugreek, about 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of allspice. You're going to need about 4 teaspoons of coriander seeds, 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 2 teaspoons of star anise, 2 teaspoons of yellow mustard seeds, 1 or 2 cloves, and you give them the right smashing that they deserve. Seems like a big pain in the ass smashing up all of your seeds and everything, but believe me, this is the best way to do it. Okay, if you can see in there, it's basically been smashed up into a nice powder. It smells really good. I'm going to combine other powder with the smashed up seeds. I'm going to mix that all together, and that is basically our curry powder. There you go. Smells incredible. Absolutely incredible. So much better than the stuff that you're going to get off a supermarket shelf, so keep it in mind. So we're almost ready to start preparing the goat, but we are going to need some vegetables before we get onto that. We're going to want to chop up a bunch of spring onion. We're going to want to dice another plain brown onion, and I'm going to chop up a whole bunch of chilies because I want this dish to have some nice kick to it. So it's finally time to turn our attentions to the goat. I've got some lovely hind quarter right here. The chops I'm basically going to leave as is because the bones are going to add a lot of flavour. Just throw them straight in like so. The other pieces I'm going to dice up into nice bite-sized chunks. May as well cut up the rib into sections if you want to. However you want to prepare it, that's the way you should prepare it. Rightio, we're pretty well organised now. So grab your bowl of vegetables, grab the goat, throw it all together, grab your curry powder. You're going to want about 4 tablespoons of this in this mixture. A little bit extra, I like that. Just reserve a little bit for when we start frying off later. Now, I like my allspice, as do the Jamaicans. So I'm going to add maybe 1 more teaspoon to this mixture. Beautiful. Now get your hands and get in there and give it a really good mix. Mix everything up really well and grab that, cover it and leave it in the fridge for at least 1 hour. If you can leave it overnight, even better. At least 1 hour, remember that. Yeah, so that's looking really good now. I ended up leaving it in there for about 1.5 hours and I think it's pretty much done its job. But before we can start cooking it, there's just 1 or 2 little things that we need to do. So let's get that happening now. Right, so the things we need to do, I've got some mustard oil here and I've got some butter and I'm going to heat them up in a nice sized casserole dish. Grab 2 brown onions and dice them up pretty finely because we're going to add that to the dish a little bit later on. Then I'm going to add the rest of the curry powder to the casserole dish and I'm going to cook it, stirring it constantly so it doesn't burn. Probably about 2 minutes will do. I almost forgot. I like garlic, so I'm going to add some to this curry. There you go. Stir that up really well, make sure it doesn't burn. Lower the heat on the stove if you need to. It smells wicked. It's time to add the meat to the pot. Bit haphazard, but who cares? I'm going to stir that all around. Get everything nicely mixed together with all of that sauce. Okay, so that's combined really well now. So I've got some chicken stock here, about 4 cups worth. Going to pour that in. Very nice. I'm going to add my coconut milk, about 1 cup of that. delicious, we're going to add the juice of 2 limes. Right, stir it really well, make sure all of those flavours are combined nicely. Bring it up to the boil, cover the casserole dish, bring it down to a simmer and cook it for about 2 hours. Just make sure you check the casserole maybe every half an hour so nothing's burning, and just give it a little bit of a stir. Seems quite promising. It's tasting really nice. It's time to check the goat. I think we've probably got about another half an hour, which means it's time to add 2 diced up potatoes. Now, we don't want to add them too early because we don't want them going really mushy and mashing up in there. So, after about 2 hours, when you think you've got about another half hour to go, add the potatoes, mix it up again, lid back on, and get back to it in about another half an hour. I reckon if we add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar to this curry, that's going to make a huge difference. So I'm going to get that in there, stir it all around. Whoops, I'm going to taste it. Yeah, that is spot on. That has made a huge difference. I'm going to get the lid back on, probably looking at about 15 more minutes, and then I reckon we're good to go. I've got a plate of plain steamed rice here, and I'm going to spoon some of the curry on that. Now I'm finally going to get a little bit of cilantro and sprinkle that on the top. And there we go. That's our Caribbean goat curry. Doesn't it look tasty? Oh my god. That has gone so far beyond my wildest expectations. It's a taste sensation. And let me tell you, this dish ranks alongside greats like Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Vivian Richards, Asafa Powell as one of the great exports of the Caribbean. Look, if you don't have goat, you can't find goat, use lamb, mutton, I don't care what you use, but give this recipe a go because it is absolutely sensational. Yeah man! See you next week in my suburban kitchen.